The moment Ethan walked into the quiet living room, he felt it, an uneasy stillness hanging in the air like something fragile about to break. His daughter, 7-year-old Claire, sat at the edge of a beige couch with her small hands folded tightly in her lap, her fingers trembling just enough for a father to notice. On the opposite side sat Hannah, the woman Ethan had been seeing for 4 months, trying her best to smile through an awkward tension neither of them fully understood. The room looked peaceful, still touched by the soft afternoon light filtering through wide American windows, but in Claire's silence Ethan sensed a storm brewing beneath her calm expression. And in that moment, as he watched her shrink into herself with folded hands and a stiff posture, he felt a sudden pull of fear that he was about to lose something he had fought so hard to protect after his wife passed years ago. If you believe in kindness, second chances, and the power of understanding, please make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Your support means the world. Ethan took a seat across from them, pretending to be casual while feeling anything but. He had hoped today would be simple, just a calm afternoon where Claire could get to know Hannah better. But Claire's stiff body language had been growing more intense ever since they sat down. Her hands stayed locked together, her small shoulders tensed, her gaze kept wandering toward the front door as if it were the only safe exit from a world she didn't trust yet. She had barely spoken since Hannah arrived, which wasn't like her. Normally she was bright, curious, endlessly talkative. But today she was a closed book with a trembling bookmark. Ethan had learned over the years to read his daughter like a weather map. After the sudden death of his wife Elena from a late-diagnosed illness, Claire had become both steel and glass, strong in ways no child should have to be, and fragile in all the ways grief silently teaches. He had worked so hard to rebuild their lives in Austin, Texas, creating routines, comfort, and safety. He carried the guilt of moving on, so when he decided to date again, he thought he had been careful enough, gentle enough. But now, watching Claire curl into her own small silence, he felt a deep ache rising in his chest. Hannah tried to speak, her voice warm and soft, but Claire only nodded politely, never unfolding her hands. Ethan could feel the discomfort radiating off her. He suddenly realized this wasn't just shyness. This was her fear of being replaced, her fear of losing space in her father's heart, her fear of another woman entering a home that had always belonged to just the two of them. As the minutes passed, the air grew heavier. Every little movement felt magnified, Hannah adjusting her sleeve, Claire shifting on the couch, Ethan tapping his thumb against his knee in quiet worry. And then he saw it again, Claire's hands folding even tighter than before, her knuckles turning pale. She wasn't just uncomfortable. She was silently begging for help. The feeling hit him all at once, sharp and undeniable. He leaned forward, his heart pounding, and asked her the question he should have asked the moment they sat down, "Claire, sweetheart, do you want to leave?" Claire's eyes lifted in a slow, painful motion, and the moment he saw the tears gathering at the edges, something inside him cracked. She gave the smallest, most heartbreaking nod he had ever seen. That single motion carried the weight of everything she didn't know how to say. Ethan stood up instantly, his decision firm and gentle at the same time. He apologized softly to Hannah, who looked startled but understanding, and asked if they could talk another time. Hannah nodded, her expression touched with empathy rather than disappointment. She knew she cared about Ethan, and she respected the bond he had with his daughter too much to stand in the way of what she clearly needed. When Ethan guided Claire outside, she clung to his hand as if it were the last safe thing in the world. The moment they stepped into the chill of the late afternoon air, Claire finally let her tears fall freely. Ethan knelt beside her in the quiet parking lot, gathering her in his arms as she cried against his shoulder. He held her tightly, stunned by how much fear she had carried behind those small folded hands. She didn't speak for a long time, and he didn't rush her. He let her breathe, let her feel, let her exist in a space where she didn't have to hide anything. And finally, when her tears slowed, she whispered against his chest that she was scared, scared he would love someone else more, scared Hannah would take her place, scared the little world they built together would change again before she was ready. Ethan closed his eyes and felt tears burn in the back of them. He had known fatherhood would require sacrifice, patience, strength. But he hadn't realized it would require moments like this, where he had to untangle the knots inside a 7-year-old heart already shaped by loss. He lifted her chin gently, promising with all the sincerity he had left that no one, not now, not ever, could replace her or take her place in his life. He told her love didn't divide, it multiplied. But he also promised her something even more important: nothing would ever move forward unless she felt safe, ready, and comfortable. Her voice mattered. Her feelings mattered. She mattered. From that moment, things didn't magically resolve overnight. Ethan slowed things down, giving Claire more time and reassurance before introducing any changes to their world. He talked with her more, listened to her fears more deeply, and made sure she knew that nothing came before her well-being. Hannah respected the space and time they needed, and over weeks, understanding slowly grew. Claire began opening up a little more, trusting a little more, folding her hands less tightly during their small, gentle meetings. Healing began in the quiet moments, not the big ones. Near the end of the journey, something beautiful happened. One afternoon, while Ethan was cooking dinner, Claire walked into the kitchen and quietly said she wanted to try again spending time with Hannah. She wasn't ready for everything, she said, but she was ready for a little bit. Ethan felt a deep sense of pride wash over him, not because she accepted change, but because she felt safe enough to move forward at her own pace. Their story didn't end with perfection, but with growth, patience, and love, the kind that takes root slowly but deeply. If this story touched your heart, please like, share, and subscribe. Your support helps us share more stories that inspire kindness and understanding. Before you go, tell us in the comments, what part of the story moved you the most?